What is up, everybody? FOMO Trader here. Going to be going over a watch list for Lotto Friday, April 8th, 2022. On this list, I have put together Airbnb, Cat, Nike, AMD, SPY, and QQQ. So we're going to get into this. Make sure my post was posted to Twitter. Yes, it was. So the reason that I want to go over AMD first, and we're only going to look at the upside for this trade, is AMD has a huge AlgoFlow divergence, which is provided by a service called Tradytics. So, and I'm going to pull up this divergence graph. So basically, the stock price is in yellow, going down. We've just been going down for a while. We pop back up and we're going down again. That is the stock price. The green line is the flow of options. And as you can see, the call flow just keeps increasing and increasing. So I want to look at an upside play for this because the option flow before the movement usually tells us a signal and a sign that everybody buying the contracts is expecting a move. So for AMD, what we're going to do here is I am going to measure this last bullish leg. I'm going to draw a fib on it. So I'm going to draw it from the low of this leg to the high. So that is the leg that I'm looking at. And I have gone ahead and set up my alert here. I've done it beforehand so we don't have to go step by step by step. But basically I'm looking for a break over 105.15, then we would be entering the 107 calls. Expiration would be 4/8. They would be 0 days to expiration. So for Lotto Friday, for all of these contracts that expire the same day, you want to be in and you want to be out. You want to get in, make a little bit of money, and get out. So I am going to take these and I am going to post this play to the chat. And that play is posted to the chat. Now I'm going to set up my alert to alert me automatically. So AMD over 105.15. And we have our price targets here, which were just posted in the chat, our stop loss, and our risk to reward. Our risk to reward is a 4.82. So if we go ahead and we plot this long position out, and we look at the long side. So the trade is, if we look for a break above 105.15, our final price target would be 107.80. And then our stop loss would be 104.60. So risk to reward on this trade is a 4.82. That is a phenomenal trade. And like I said, for the 0 day to expiration lottos, you want to be in and you want to be out. So breaks this level, first, second, scale sum at your first price target, your second price target, and if the price gets above 25% gains, I would go ahead and maybe cash out, or if you want to diamond hand it, you could hold it all the way up to the fifth price target, but that is totally up to you. But that is what I recommend. So the second trade I want to look at here is Airbnb. So if we switch to the daily on Airbnb and I zoom in on this yellow candle here represents an inside bar. So we're looking for a inside bar breakout either to the upside or an inside bar breakout to the downside. So we want the price to break above or the price to break below here. And then whenever that happens, we would like to enter this trade. So I have already plotted the prior days from April 6th high and low, and then we have today's high and low. So we want this inside candle to break out of the prior day's levels. So I'm going to switch back over here to the 5 minute, and I'm going to draw my fib from the low to the high. And I want to make sure my coordinates are right here. So we got 168.77 for our high and 161.58 for our low, which they are correct. So on Airbnb to the upside, we want to wait for a break over 168.80, and then we'd be playing the 170 calls, same day expirations. And our final price target on this is 174.50. Hold on, I missed a price target here. 169.50. So 173.20. So our final price target is 173.20 on this trade. And if we calculate our risk to reward, I'll go ahead and post this trade to the chat. So our risk to reward on this trade, we're looking for a break above 168.80. Our final price target would be 173.20. And our stop loss is 167. Risk to reward is that stop loss. That is not the stop loss I put earlier. I'm sorry, guys. My notes are not correct. So we're going to set our stop loss at 167.70. So risk to reward on that trade is a 4. So not sure if YouTube will allow me to. Yes. So I'm going to post the updated trade with the correct targets. So now for the downside play, we're going to get rid of the Fibonacci and we're going to get rid of our risk to reward chart here. And we're going to draw our fib from the high to the low. So our high was 168.77 and our low was 161.58. We want to make sure those coordinates are correct. And to the downside, we're looking for a break below 161.55, and we're going to look at the 160 puts for 0 day to expiration, expire tomorrow on April 8th. Final price target being 157.15 is our home run. Stop loss at 162.40 right here in this zone. And our risk to reward on this trade. So let me draw the stop. So this is at 162.40, and this is our stop loss. And our downside entry on this. So we would enter the trade on a break below 161.55, breaking out of that inside bar level. Our final price target would be 157.15 for our home run, and then our stop loss would be 162.40. Risk to reward on that is a 5.18. So we would enter on a break of the 0 fib here, breaking below the inside bar breakout level, and then our targets would be your 10%, 27.2, 38.2, 50, and 61.8 being our final home run target, and our stop loss is in between our entry of 0% and the 23.6 retracement. I'm going to post this one to the chat. So next one I want to look at is Caterpillar. So same thing, if we come over here to the daily, we have the same kind of setup as we did on Airbnb. So we have an inside bar. This yellow bar here is inside in between the high and the low of the previous day from April 6th. So we are looking for a break above that high, breaking out of this level, or a break below. So we are going to come over here, and for the upside play, we are going to draw our fib from the bottom, from the low to the high. Make sure our coordinates are right. So 2:17:13 and 2:13:55. So they are right. We're going to look for a break above 2:17:15, and then we would enter the 2:20 calls expiration, or 0 days, on April 8th. We want to be in and out of this trade. Final price target being 219.35 at the 61.8 extension, and our stop loss being 216.70. So here's our stop in between our 0 and 23.6. And if we plot out this risk to reward, so we want a break of 217.15, final price target 219.35, and our stop is 216.70. 4.89 if the final price target is hit. I mean, 4 times your money. I'm handing out these trades. We hit quite a few of them today. They didn't had a few run all the way to the 5th and final price target. Most of them made it to the 3rd that were triggered. These trades, you just set up your alerts, you wait for them to happen, and you wait for them to come to you. So now we're going to create our alert here. So we're looking for cat over 217.15. And then we're going to create our alert here. Let me go back to Airbnb before I forget. I didn't create the downside alert. So downside on Airbnb was under 161.55. So now we have both our alerts set for Airbnb. And I don't believe I set the breakout to the top as well. So 168.80. Okay, now both alerts are set there. Then we're going to go back to cat. We've got our alert to the upside set. I'm going to send this to the chat so you guys can set this up yourself if you would like. So now we're going to look at the downside on cat. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our fib for the downside play, and we're going to plot it from our high to our low that we have marked from the daily. And we're going to make sure our coordinates are right. 213.55 and 217.13, which they are. Now we're going to wait for a break under 213.55 here on the inside bar breakout level. And once we break that level, we'll be entering the 212 puts for 0-day expiration that expire April 8th, tomorrow. Final price target for home run would be 211.30, and our stop loss would be 214. Would be our stop loss on that entry. And if we look at the short side of this, so if we enter on a break under 213.55, our home run price target is 211.30, and our stop loss is 214.5 on the risk to reward. 5 times your money. I mean, these trades, you just set them, you wait for the trigger to happen, you wait for confirmation, then you enter the trade, and they are pretty much automated. having really good feedback and really good return on these trades. So I'm going to post this, create the alert here. So we're looking under 213.55. And now we are going to look at Nike. Come over here to the Nike chart. Same story, different chart. We look at the daily. We have another inside bar story, and to the upside we have a potential gap back up, which would be a phenomenal trade. So we are going to plot our fib from the low to the high. And there's our coordinates. So we are going to wait for a break above this level, which is our gap area. So we're going to wait for a break above $130.30, and then we would enter the 132 calls, 0-day expirations expiring tomorrow on April 8th. Our final price target would be at the 61.8, which I have at 132.75. And our stop loss on this trade would be 129.80. Would be our stop off this entry. And the risk to reward on this trade over 130.30. Final price target 132.75. And our stop is 129.80. 4.9 times your money. So create this alert as well. Wait for the alert to happen and not force any trades. You need to plan your trades, trade your plan, be disciplined, not force anything. That is the key. You are your own worst enemy. So set that alert. Now we're going to look at the downside potential. So what we're going to do here is we're going to draw our fib from the high to the low, 126.33 and 130.30. So we are right here. So we're going to wait for a break below this level at $126.30. Our home run price target would be 123.90 at the 61.8 extension here. And our stop loss on this trade would be 126.75. $126.75. And if we look at the short side of this trade, so we're looking under 126.30 with a final price target of 123.90 and our stop loss at 126.75. 5.3 times your money. All of these trade ideas that I've given out are a minimum of over 4 to 5 times your money. I mean, these are just phenomenal. Set your triggers, set your alerts, wait for them to happen, enter the trade, keep a close eye on it. Once each price target is hit, scale some. So if you buy 5 contracts and there's 5 price targets at every single price target, you can scale a contract, and then you can basically move your stop loss up to where you scaled. So we get to the first price target, move your stop loss up to your entry price. We get to the second price target, move your stop loss up to the first price target. That way your trade pretty much turns into a free trade, or even if you get stopped out, you will still be in the profit. So I'm going to post this one as well. And create the alert here. So under 126.30. And I forgot to post the upside for Nike. So there we go. There is all the trades that I'm looking at, and I also want to look at SPY and QQQ because you can make a nice quick dollar on them on Lotto Friday. So for SPY, let me remove these drawings. So here what we're going to do is we close this gap from where we sold off the other day, from the 5th to the 6th. So we close that gap today. So I am going to take a fib from the low to the high of this last leg, and we're going to look for a break on SPY above 450.70. So SPY over 450.70. And what I like to do to find which contract I'm looking for, or which strike, I would like to count up 1, 2, 3 fib lines, 3 price targets basically, and that's 453.43. And if I look at the options chain, we got 453 and 454. So our fourth price target is 454.27. But we're going to go with the 453s because you can make money faster on these, because they will be closer to in the money instead of farther out the money. But you can make a bigger return on out the money, so it's really dealer's choice. But if this trigger happens for me, I'm going with the 453 calls. Price targets on this, just going to use the fib levels. So we got 451.40, 452.65, 453.40, 454.30, and fifth price target would be 455.10. Stop loss on this trade, we're going to go halfway, and we're going to do 449.75 will be our stop loss here. So we'll come back to this alert. And risk to reward on this trade is going to be a big one. Whoops. Long position. So we enter on a break above 450.70. Final price target being 455.10. And our stop loss being 449.75. Risk to reward 4.63. Over 4 times your money. Every single trade idea I've given out tonight has been over 4 on the risk to rewards. That ratio is great. 1 times your money is good. 2 times your money is good. But anything above 3 or 4 is just phenomenal. What's up, Mosh? How you doing? So risk to reward 4.63. Take this trade over 450.70. Hopefully we see a nice gap back up tomorrow. So I want to do a look at the downside for SPY as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to draw it in reverse from the high to the low. We could draw it like that, but instead we're just going to use this leg here. So So if we use just this leg, we really don't have much movement. Our price target's 448.20, 447. We're only moving about 40 cents at a time. So I'm looking for something with a little more heat. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch back over here to the daily. And I'm going to draw the fib from the high to the low. And we're going to look at it like that. So let me get rid of this old alert. So we're going to look for a break below 443.50. And then what are we going to do? We're going to count down 1, 2, 3 fib extensions, and we're going to base our strike in our contract off of that. So 440.79, which is closer to the 441. So we're going to go with the 441 puts, expiration are 0 days on April 8th. Price targets, we're going to use our extensions, 442.80, 441.60, 440.80, 440 even, we're just going to call it, and 439. 439.10. Stop loss, we're going to set it here in the middle, 444.20. Most people who trade like this, who use these entry targets on the fibs, will use the previous fib retracement level from their entry as their stop loss. But for me, that is risking too much money, and I like to pick in between. So a nice round psychological number. So we got 444.20, and risk to reward on this. Move this over here. We're going to look at the short side. A break under 443.20. Fifth price target 439.10 at the 61.8 extension, and our stop loss being 444.20. 4 times your money. Every trade I've gone over tonight has been over a 4 on the risk to reward. There's some great setups for tomorrow. So we're going to set this alert. I'm going to post this to the chat for you guys. And the last ticker I want to look at tonight is QQQ. So QQQ, we're going to do this the same way we did SPY. If we look at it on the 5-minute here, QQQ, we still have a nice gap back up area. Where if we look at SPY, we filled that gap back up area. On QQQ, we did not. So we kind of broke over it here, and then we had 1, 2, 3, we had like almost a 5 or a 6 top here, and we never broke this level. So I think once we finally do break this level, we should see a nice gap fill here. So I'm going to draw my fib from the low to the high of that last move. So the absolute low from the day to almost the high. So we're going to look for a break above. We're going to set this alert at 356.35. And we're looking at QQQ gap fill area. So QQQ over 356.35. We're going to count up 3 different extensions. So 10%, 27.2, 38.2. We're at 359.28. So for QQQ, we're going to be looking at the 359 calls. Expiration are 0 days. So 4/8/22. Got to be in, got to be out of these contracts. You cannot have hopium. You cannot get greedy. You have to get in, milk it for a little bit, make some money, and get back out. And then wait for another setup and get in and get out. So price targets here, or you can diamond hand it, like I said earlier in the video. But I wouldn't recommend that, not on Lotto Friday. Get in, make some money, get out, be done by 10 or 11 o'clock, go eat you a lunch, take a nap, do whatever you want to do. Get ready for the weekend. So price targets, 357.10, 358.40, 359.30, 360.20, and 361.10. Stop loss. We are not going to use the fib retracement below our entry. We're going to pick a midway point here, a nice round even number. So 355.50 looks like it to me. So we're going to come back over here and set our stop loss and our alert, 355.50, and our risk to reward on this trade for long position. So we're going to enter on a break above 356.35. Our final price target was 361.10. Whoops, not 261, 361.10. And our stop loss was 355.50. What do you guys think it is? I think it's going to be definitely over 4. Ooh, 5.59. 5.6 times your money if all price targets are achieved. And let's see. Would this actually close the gap? 61.8. That would definitely close the gap, but the gap will pretty much be closed at the 50% extension. So if we get to the 50% extension and you are still holding majority of your contracts, I would recommend going ahead and scaling there and maybe leaving a runner or two for the 61, the 61.8. Sorry, can't find my words. Yes, Smosh, it is a beautiful risk to reward. Every trade I've gone over tonight has been over 4. So great moves for tomorrow. Gonna post this one in here as well. And then we are going to look at the downside, and I'm going to call it a night unless anybody has any questions. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do like the same thing we did on SPY. And for the downside play, we're going to measure from the daily high to the daily low. We're going to come back over here to the 5-minute. And we're going to look for a break below 348.65 is what I want to call it. So under 348.65. So QQQ under 348.65. And then we're going to count 1, 2, 3 extensions, 345.76. So we're going to go with the 346 puts. Expiration are 0 days. Lotto Friday, excited for it. Price targets, keep it simple. 347.90, 346.60, 345.75, 344.85, and fifth home run price target would be, we'll just call it 344.95. Stop loss is going to be in between our entry level of our 0% and our 23.6 retracement level for this downside play. So we're going to set this at, we're going to set stop loss, and we're going to 349.55. Risk to reward here. This one's going to be huge as well. So we enter on a break below 348.65. And our final home run price target is 344.95. And stop loss 349.55. Risk to reward. And the last one of the night is over a 4 as well. 4.1 times your money. I mean, what more do you guys want? No. All of these trades that were posted tonight are over 4 on the risk to reward. When you can get 1 times or 2 times your money, you're doing something. 4 times your money. And if you scale out at each of these price targets and move your stop loss up as the trade is going in, achieving these different price targets, and the trade will be free. I mean, these are just great. We had a couple today that I went over last night that hit all price targets. I mean, what more do you want? So risk to reward, 4.11. Going to post this one in the chat as well. Yeah, I am almost at 100 subs. I thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully some of you guys are finding this informative. And Mosh asks, is this the only strat you use? Well, as you can see, if you look at my charts here, I use Fibonacci. So I use Fibonacci for one. Then I pair my Fibonacci with inside and outside bars, which are the yellow and white bars located on my chart, and then I also use EMA and MAs. So if we come in here and we look at my settings, so I'm using the EMA 8, the MA 13, the MA 21, the MA 50, and the MA 200. And then we have my inside bar and outside bar. So I like to use the EMA 8 and 13 as a short-term trend identifier. Basically, if the 8 is above the 13, the trend is bullish, and if the 8 is below the 13, the trend is bearish for short term. And then using the bigger MAs, the 21, 50, as bigger time frame for trends. So I hope that made sense. Check out my orb video I made last night, guys. I will be making some more videos. I'm going to be making some real short videos going over the Greeks, and then I'm going to make some videos on basically how to draw fibs, when to use them, and basically just provide examples and proof of how the algos are trading this stuff. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at a chart real quick. So if we look at IWM, which was a trade I went over last night, and we come over here and we base the low, we draw our Fibonacci from the high from April 6th to the low, and then we come back over here to the 5 minutes and we look at this price action. So my fib is only drawn from here, and then my drawing stops here at the low. So this is from the 6th, the high to the low of that day. Then if you look at the price action from today, we are drawn from the high to the low. Then we break below that low. Then we hit the 10% and it kind of bounces below. Then we have support here. So then it breaks the 10%, and then the price automatically bounces off to 27.2. And then that's not all. So off of the 27.2, we bounce down to the 38.2 extension, and we bounce off of these levels. And this right here just shows that the computers, or the algos, and I learned this from another trader and watching a lot of his videos, but the algos are trading, and we can't beat these computers because they spend thousands and thousands or millions of dollars on programming them to make micro cents on the dollar on trades, to buy and sell at these levels. They have to be programmed some way. So this right here should just prove from this price action, with me only drawing my fib once again from here to here. So that is the only place it is drawn from, the line. So if you want, I can take it and we can delete this, and I can redraw the fib from the high to the low. So that's the only place I drew it. And then if you look at the price action underneath that, where it bounced off of these levels, so we gained support here at the 10%. Once it bounced under, went back up a little bit. Then we went to the 27.2, bounced off of it. We bounced off of the 38.2. Then we bounced off of the 50. And then we price reversed at the 61.8. So off of the 61.8 is a very key level. That's why I always set it as my 5th price target for when the trend might reverse completely or the algo gets exhausted. So this right here, if you can't see from this price action alone what's going on, I mean, I could show you guys some more examples, but I'm not going to hold you up any longer. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I don't want to go off on a rant anymore. I hope you found my video informative. And let's have a good day tomorrow for Lotto Friday. All these trades are over a 4 on the risk to reward ratio. I'm setting up a free Discord, and the link is in my bio on here, as well as in the comment section or the description of the video if you want to join it. Probably here in the future I'm going to be getting the Tradytics option flow bots for it, but as of right now it is a free Discord with barely anybody in it, so just trying to build a little bit of community. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night. If you've got any questions, please leave them